Not at all, Jessica, and we're actually standing not too far away from where police recovered her body. Again, we're just a few yards away from that pond. And when the police chief began his media briefing, he was very emotional and actually in tears. And he started off by saying that their worst fears came true. Now here is sweet little 4-year-old Emery sporting a big smile. Hamilton Township Police Chief Scott Hughes tells us she loved to feed fish at the pond near her home on Turning Leaf Way and Beech Tree Lane. Just before 8 o'clock, the chief says the Warren County Dive Rescue and Recovery Team were scanning outside the pond she loved. That's when crews noticed little Emery's body near the rocks. They used boats, drones, canines, and horses to search for her. For nearly 8 hours, 7 agencies assisted Hamilton Township Police. The chief says footage from a Ring security camera showed Emery walking away from her driveway around 12:30 this afternoon with no shoes on. Neighbors also spent hours trying to bring her home safely. Everyone truly was positive on trying to bring her home, but the community is crushed as Emery's tragic ending was not what anyone hoped for.
We don't know if she was playing on the rocks, if she slipped and fell. We won't know that for some time, but this sucks, right? I mean, this just sucks. I mean, she was 4 years old, so there's nothing really you can say.
And the chief isn't exactly sure how she died and says that he won't know until the coroner's office comes back with their reports. The chief also says in his 25 years in the department, he's never had to lead an investigation like this or even have to deal with something of this magnitude. And of course, we extend our deepest condolences and prayers to everyone who took part in this search, family, law enforcement, and community members, because this community is truly, truly broken at this time. We're live in Mainville. Andrea Medina, Fox 19 Now.
Allison, good evening. The legislature passed a number of laws back in January aimed to curb the Kentucky governor's power. Now, the court said these laws can't go into effect until they figure out if they're constitutional. Today, the Supreme Court said actually they can go into effect. However, they haven't ruled whether they're constitutional or not.
To me, the question was never about whether the legislature has the ability to take powers away from the governor. It does. The question was whether we should take powers away from the governor. We're a part-time legislature. We can't even vote unless it's between January and April. So do you want 138 part-time legislators from 2 chambers deciding whether Kentucky's in an emergency? Or do you want an executive who can marshal the resources of state government until the legislature comes back into session?
Governor Andy Beshear will no longer be able to sign executive orders for mandates. Senator Morgan McGarvey tells me now the ability for the governor to declare a state emergency is only there for 30 days.
This means that the legislature has to act. And I hope that the legislature has a plan. Right now, all we've seen is political rhetoric and power grabs from the legislature. We need to see a plan. Will the legislature be willing to work across the aisle, to work with the governor? Are we willing to keep people safe, or are we going to end up looking like Mississippi or Florida?
The Republican Party of Kentucky released a statement on today's ruling from the Kentucky Supreme Court, reading in part, "This ruling is a victory of the separation of powers and the rule of law as enshrined in our Constitution. I am proud of our Republican lawmakers." However, not everyone is pleased.
First and foremost, I'm a parent, and I have 2 kids in elementary school who aren't old enough to be vaccinated. I want to keep everybody's kids safe. I want to keep my kids safe. I want to keep schools and businesses open.
I'm told the court will decide whether the laws are constitutional, and they'll also decide if they violate the separation of powers. Now, we don't have a timeline on when that will happen at this time. Reporting in Newport, I'm Morgan Parrish, Fox 19 Now.